Welcome to the BVTV Network, coming to you from the UK studios of BizVision. I'm your host, Malcolm Gallagher. Now, this is episode 2 in the BVTV Aha Trilogy with recruiting expert Andrea Hoffer. Hello again, Andrea.
Hi, Malcolm. How are you?
Oh, excellent. Listen, I was a bit disappointed with episode 1. Your fellow presenter, Joey, didn't say much, did he?
No, he knows when to keep quiet. He's not quite a recruiting expert yet, but we're working on it.
Are you working on it? Yes. Yeah. I always put my dog down on our books as our security advisor. It didn't work. I never got tax rebate from it. But Andrea, in this episode, I'm asking you to spill the beans or share the secrets on hiring and getting hired. And I'm trusting that our viewers and listeners will take time to understand in your thinking on both sides of the fence. So over to you.
Great. Thank you, Malcolm. So in episode 1, we talked a lot about that discovery. And I push that a lot because if you don't know who you're looking for, it's very difficult to recognize them or to even attract them. And it's the same thing with the candidates. If you don't know what is the ideal job for you, what kind of environment you're looking for, then how are you going to find it? So I just wanted to emphasize that again, that discovery part is very important. And then we talk about with companies that recruitment plan. Recruiting has really become marketing. Recruitment marketing is one of the fastest growing niches of marketing these days. And we're trying to embrace it and learn all the different creative ways to reach candidates. And it's not the job boards. Yes, you still need to post on the job boards. I'm not going to discount that there are some candidates that still go there. The way we try to find is putting stories out there, putting on your social media, start to nourish people about what it's like to work at your company. What's great about it? Highlight your team members. When it's their birthday, put their picture up in your social media and tell a little bit about them. You start to give the people out there an idea of who they would be working with. And that's what they want to know. What are their likes? What are their dislikes? Would they be fun to work with? It's not just about the job. And how does it connect to your mission? People want to know that they're really contributing to something. They always have, but it's even more important now. They want to know that they're not just a cog in the wheel, that no matter what their job is, they're contributing to something more important. Connect your mission to them. When you're writing the job description, and especially the posting, include in it how this job contributes to the overall mission of the company, to your core purpose, and also include your core values. Your core values are your guiding principles. Those are the 4 to 6 values that everybody in your company lives day to day. You can trust them to make decisions because they're going to follow these values. And don't just put it in a drawer somewhere or put it on a wall and never talk about it. Integrate it into your day-to-day culture and also put it out there in social media so that potential candidates will get a feel for what you're all about.
Yeah, I think that is a brilliant concept. I do remember the values. I remember George Bush, the second, junior, who got in a second time, and his values kept going over family, fiscal, flag. That's how he marketed: family, fiscal, flag, family, fiscal. And everybody tried to take him away, just kept coming back to family, fiscal, flag. And ever since then, I've thought, well, 3 is enough to get across to people. I went into a company recently and they had 8, and that was far too many. They were almost like making up values. Do you agree in keeping them to a handful?
I agree. But sometimes when we work with companies and they come in with 8 to 10, I'm like, we can get these down to 6. You can. I think 3 is great if you can encompass it in 3. I always believe 3 is a magic number. I try to do things in three bullet points. But most of the time we see 4 to 6 core values really encompass, what you're all about and how to function day to day.
Yeah. Before we move on and talk more about your books and other things like that, just tell me about Higher. What's the concept behind this book that you've written?
In essence, it's a practical guide because I'm a very practical person. I actually hired somebody to help me add my stories to it because I just wanted to write all the bullet points. But it's a very practical guide for the small to mid-sized business owner. It's actually probably helpful for any hiring manager in any company. But it takes you through the exact process that we use at Aha. And it's very step by step. And so you don't need to read it, front to back. You can use it as a reference guide. It will help you to improve your results in your hiring, even if you just follow a couple of tips in there.
Well, I don't know about it in the US, but it's certainly in the UK. It's become more complicated for the average small business guy to or lady to recruit because there's so many regulations and so many pitfalls around and everything. And discipline is another area. Do you think it's getting more complicated, or is it becoming simpler? Or does your book help people simplify it?
The book does not touch on compliance, if that's where you're going with that. I'm not an attorney, so I will.
No.
And I don't know the laws in the UK. I know in the United States, the laws are different from state to state. So you do need to be careful about that. This book will be more of a practical guide on figuring out who you need, how to attract them, how to find them and market to them. And then it gives a whole section on interviewing, how to write an effective interview question and what to listen for. Because, I know when I was originally trained on interviewing, it was just more of a gut reaction, right? And so I wanted a formula that we could follow that works. And that's what this is. But it doesn't talk to the individual laws associated. And usually that comes in a lot with the onboarding, the compliance part of the onboarding process.
Now, you see, that's why I think your book is so invaluable and needed, because that's the bit where, in my experience, companies are pretty poor at that front bit, the interviewing, and that they may be very good and have an army of lawyers behind them on all their employer's liability and all the personal contract and all those sort of things, but the actual bit of selling their business, they're not very good.
Right. Yeah. And I think often employers will come to the kind of employer-employee relationship thinking that the person they hire, they show up very good in the interview, right? There's so much out there on the internet right now where it will tell you the right words to say. And so they hear these magical words that just kind of hits things in their head or their heart. And they expect day one that this person is going to walk in and be the solution to all their problems. And it doesn't work that way. And, and I actually think that many times they do make the right decision who they hire, but they fall down in the onboarding. And that's going to be what my next book is about, because that's where the retention starts. And it's totally really that first impression.
I'm totally with you. Thanks, Andrea. Now let's give viewers and listeners details of your URL, your website address, which obviously viewers you can see on the screen behind me. But for listeners, let me spell it out. It's all the W's dot AHA, that's AHA, AHA recruitingexperts.com, AHA recruitingexperts.com. Now, Andrea's written two books. The first is called The New Customer, and the second we've just been talking about, Higher, which you can find on places like Amazon. But if you go to our website, you can download The New Customer for free in ebook format. So go along to that website there and download The New Customer. Andrea's delivered some great thinking. I just want to reiterate, as I'm going through this trilogy, that neither employer or employee should think just one way. Consider both sides to arrive at a purposeful and happy future. Now, in episode 3, I want to talk to Andrea about retaining talent. And it's not always about money. So can we do that, Andrea?
Yes, I'd love to.